brake shoes, brake pads, drums, rollers, brake fluid, brake clean, brake hardware, a flush, and a shop fee. I wish there was a place I could take my car to that didn't cost me an arm and a leg.
Well, now there is. Welcome to GA Automotive and Tire, where you can get a brake job for only $199 on most vehicles. That's a complete brake job with brake pads and rotors resurfaced. Located at 4431 Luxinger Lane, Austin, Texas, 78745. For service and prices so good that you'd recommend your family, simply call GA Automotive and Tire. Just dial 512-444-7005. That's 512-444-7005. GA Automotive and Tire. Hey, this is Rob T.
Hey, this Big Will.
The week is almost through.
And there's a lot we've thought through.
And we just want to share it with you. Some of it may be motivational.
Some inspirational.
But it will always be sensational. So sit back
and relax.
And check out what's on my mind. What is up, people?
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
How's it going? That's where you come in.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. I always just let you all do the intro and then I come in with the and Melissa.
That is just perfect right there.
It is awesome. That's so awesome.
I mean,
that's great. What's up, everybody? It's Rob T.
It's Big Will.
And there's Melissa.
And you're listening to
What's on My Mind.
And we are very happy to be here. It is another podcast, another week. We had a really great podcast last week. We had Michelle in-house, Michelle Haggerty. We had a blast with her. And great discussion. I loved listening back to it. We've got a lot of good feedback. What?
I heard it back the other day, and I was just like, dang, she went in on you on that one point.
Yeah, I know. But that's Michelle. That's what she does.
But you know what? We need to do it again.
No, we don't.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
You heard that, Michelle. You heard that.
I love having Michelle.
Rob's scared of you.
She is one of my favorite people. I love having her on the show. So, no, it was a lot of fun. But I am excited about this week's show.
Chale.
That's funny. Okay, that's funny. Anyway, I am excited about this week's show. We're going to be talking family today. That's right. It's going to be a show that's about family. But if y'all remember, for those of y'all that have been listening to our show, a few weeks ago we had my cousin Nikki on, and she gave her story of being stuck in addiction and how she went from being stuck in addiction to her redemption story. She gave her life to Christ and has cleaned up, and things are just so much different now. It's night and day. And as we were as she was telling her story, she talked about her sister. And if you remember, we said, we'd like to have them both on the show one day, because her sister's from Colorado. So first off, I want to say that the reason why she came back down, the reason why, of course, sucked. The reason why she was here the first time was because, if you remember, Nikki talked about her sister being sick with leukemia. And unfortunately, her sister succumbed to the disease a couple of weeks ago and passed away.
Oh, wow.
So that's the reason why Alissa came back down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so please.
My condolences to the family.
Yeah, prayers for the Castro family for sure. And beautiful memories, and we know that she is no longer hurting, and she's kicking it with Jesus, man. That's
so jello.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So anyway, without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce. Y'all remember Nikki Castro, but then we also have Alissa. How do you say your last name? Carragher. See, I was saying Carragher. So
everyone says that.
I was wrong.
I was thinking
Carragher.
Get a little closer to your mic, please.
Carragher.
There we go. So we got both sisters with us today, and today, we're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about their story because it's an awesome and it's an amazing story, and so much good has come out of it, and it's crazy how so much good has come from so much bad.
Amen.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, Nikki. I was talking to Alissa today too, and I was like, the crazy thing is, like, the bad, even right now, the bad being the passing of your sister. Well, bad in a way, right? Because she's no longer here with us. Yes. We know it's good now. Mm-hmm. But had it not been for that, and even for her getting sick, there's a pretty good chance Alissa might not have come down here, right, and stuff. And so we're closer now. You know, I'm closer with her, and I know you are too. And so there's a blessing even in the midst of despair. There's a blessing, and I just thank God for that for sure. But I was excited. I was really excited about having you guys on the show because we get to talk about your story, and it's an amazing story. What is so funny?
You didn't hear that?
No.
Oh,
what did I miss?
He farted.
Oh,
that was my phone.
It was like you might need to change your drawers, man.
We all looked over there
I opened my message, my Facebook thing. I had a notification. I hit the button by mistake and put up an actual voice comment there. I was like,
All right, yeah, you farted. Anyway, and you didn't even eat the chili before.
I wasn't invited.
Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to start off. We're going to start at the beginning, okay? So for those of you that don't know, that didn't get to listen to the podcast with Nikki on last time, Nikki's my first cousin. Her mother was my aunt. So of course, Alissa is also my first cousin because they share the same mother. And
father.
Father, yes, that's right.
Who did listen to that podcast? Seriously. How are you listening to this one and not listening to that one first?
I know, right?
I'm going to put a disclaimer. If you haven't listened to the first one, you need to go back. Right now, stop.
Yeah.
Go back, listen to it, because this is going to be a little confusing.
Yeah.
I'm confused, and I was there recording this.
So my aunt's name was Cindy. I mean, there were by a lot of names. I called her Tia. But so let's start there, and I'll start there with both of you. But first, Nikki, tell us a little bit about your mom.
Okay. I mean, I was very young when she passed. I was 3, but as far as I can remember, you know, she was very funny, very loud, just like me. She did have her battle with her own demons of alcoholism, and I'm not quite positive, but drugs may have been involved. She did suffer from epilepsy on top of that. So she just had her own, you know, chaos.
Right. And of course, growing up, I did get to meet her, and she was always very sweet to me, but you hear the stories in the family, you know, and I think it would be safe to say, even though we may not have a medical diagnosis, she probably was dealing with bipolar, depression,
and I believe so.
You know what I mean? Because of some of the stuff that happened. Of course, the famous story in our family was her burning down a house.
Yes.
You know, so she dealt with some demons. Will's with his mouth wide open. Yeah.
You think we're crazy?
Going for it today.
You think they're crazy? You should have seen their mama.
I don't far too far from the tree.
So yeah, there was definitely a lot of darkness.
Yes.
In that for sure. So you were born what year?
I was born in 88.
In 88, okay. So you were born, and of course, your memories are very minimal because you were so young. So then, a year later, this has been up for debate, right?
12 and a half months. 13 months. 12 and a half months. 13,
depending who you ask. Alissa was born 12 and a half months, 13 months later.
Hey. Perfect.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So the story goes basically that when Alissa was born, your mom decided she couldn't give her the life that she wanted her to have, basically. So she put her up for adoption, right? And praise God, Alissa was adopted by a great family, and they took her away from Texas, and
Boo.
and took you to Colorado, right?
Yes.
Okay, Colorado. So this is where I want to start the story. So we're talking 25 years of growing up in 2 different families. So let's start there. So I'm gonna start with you first, Alissa. Okay. 25 years, okay? You grew up in Colorado. So give us a little bit how it was growing up. Like, you know, great childhood, not so great childhood. Did you know that you had another family at that point? When did you learn you had all that good stuff? Just kind of give us the rundown on that.
So my mom was very upfront and honest with me. When I was 2 years old, she sat me down and told me I was adopted. And I think the reason she did that was because she had gotten a letter from the adoption agency saying that my birth mom had passed. And so she told me I was adopted, and then in that same conversation, she told me she had passed away. And I remember I was crying, but I was 2. I knew, like, I was sad, but I didn't know why. And she explained to me, like, yes, you have another sibling out there. This is her. She showed me the pictures. I have a letter from my mom. She showed me all my adoption papers. They never kept anything from me. I was allowed to look at my papers and my pictures and everything whenever I wanted to because it was mine.
Wow.
And they respected that.
Wow.
And I told my mom, I said, I want to find my sister. And she said, okay, start looking. So we went online and we did Google. We did MySpace at the time. We did like investigators and stuff like that. I spent 25 years looking for her. And then I got married and moved to Washington, and I just happened to like Google her name and my aunt and uncle's name, and our grandma's obituary popped up. And I called the funeral home, and they said, we'll contact the family. And so I was thinking, okay, so I'm not going to hear anything back. Not but 2 minutes later, one of my aunts calls me back. And then I asked her about my sister, and she said, yeah, she's at work. I'll have her call you when she gets off work. And I can't remember if I called you or if you called me.
You called me. I had just got home from a Celebrate Recovery meeting.
Okay. So, yeah.
And that's when Thea called me, let me know, and I told her, have her call me. Because I didn't believe my aunt.
Yeah, you didn't know who she was talking about, right?
That's a whole other story.
My parents changed my name when they adopted me. My name was Nancy Nicole.
Oh, wow.
And that's the name I looked for the 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you knew about her too, like from a young age?
I was like around 7.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I found a picture of her and happened to question my grandma. Who's this?
Yeah, but I remember from the last discussion we had about this, you were told something totally different about your sister. And it still blows my mind that you were told that, because I'm just going to say it. I mean, I know it's family, but it's freaking cruel.
Yeah.
What were you told?
When I was mentioned and told about her, you know, like I said, she sat me down, mentioned to me I had another sibling that was set up for adoption. So right away, my anger got in, and I questioned her, what about me? Why didn't they take me? And that's when she told me, well, I need to talk to you about that. And I said, okay, well, what's going on? And that's where she told me that my sister wasn't 100% healthy. She told me that she was pretty much the last that she was told, that she was a vegetable. So if I was going to look for her, to keep it in my mind that if I find her, I'm going to be taking care of a kid, you know, that needs help all the time. And I was, you know, of course, struggled by it. I was a kid still when they told me this, you know. So I just kind of, you know, gave up, I guess you can say, after they told me that.
So let me jump in real quick. 2 differences here, right? Because like what you said, your family was up front. You could look at pictures anytime you wanted because they respected that it was yours. Yes. And then over here, this family. So
I had to sneak and find that picture.
So my question to you is, when you heard that, I mean, how did that make you feel?
That they told her I was a vegetable? It kind of made me mad because nobody knew. Right. Nobody knew what I was like because my mom left me at the hospital. Nobody else saw me. Right. You know? Only my mom saw me. Right. And I went from my birth mom to my mom Nobody else in the family saw me. They didn't know I was a vegetable. They said that because the grandma refused to take me.
Oh, wow.
The aunt refused to take me. And so they called my mom, who had just gotten out of fostering, said, we have this baby here. Can you please take her? We know you're not fostering right now. And my mom, being the amazing person she is, like, of course, bring her over.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as she held me, she asked my dad, like, I want to adopt this baby.
Aww.
And my dad is like, okay. He borrowed the money from his boss, and they adopted me and gave me...
Can we keep her?
Yeah.
I love
They
it.
gave me a great life, you know. I grew up in sports and activities and singing and dancing and all sort, like, you name it, my parents encouraged it, and, you know, and they gave me every opportunity that I asked for plus some.
Wow.
So I grew up in a very healthy, Christian-based white family.
Shout out to the foster and adoptive parents out there. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yes,
and I'll tell you this.
Definitely.
Last night was awesome because Alissa showed me a bunch of her old pictures. And I told her after I saw them all, I was like, you know what I noticed in all of them? And she goes, I was smiling. I go, yeah, that's one of them. But I can also see how much you were loved.
Yeah.
You could just see it in every single picture.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And I told her this last night. It just makes me thank God more because you didn't get to grow up honestly the way Nikki did. And I want to put this out there because I don't know, some of our family could be listening to it. This isn't a bashing the family thing.
No,
it's
not
not
at all.
It's
No.
not. But at the same time, I'm not going to shy away from the truth because
Amen.
because there are other people that unfortunately probably go through very similar, have gone through similar situations like this, and we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
You
have
know
their
what I mean?
struggles.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody has their struggles. You know, for all we know, my tia did the best she could by making that decision. For all I know, my grandmother didn't know what to do, so this is how she reacted. It doesn't mean that she loved Nikki any less or anything like that. It's just, this is what they knew, you know? And that's just something I want to put out there because, you know, I don't want anyone thinking we're trying to bash anybody. This is just the truth, the story of
our
how it
story.
happened, of their story. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Nikki, coming back to you, you know, so you found out how you said you were how old when you found out?
I was like around 7.
7. So you kind of gave up because you thought she was this vegetable.
This vegetable.
Did that thought last all the way up until she actually found you?
Oh no. I was 17, already planning on trying to move out my aunt's house.
Right.
You know, I had all this planned ahead without them even knowing. So I asked my grandma again. I said, Grandma, I'm about to be an adult now. I'm about to get my own place. Where's this adoption agency that you're talking about?
Right.
And I kind of knew something was up because I was told the adoption agency was burnt down.
Which it was.
And yes, I had researched that and found out
Yeah.
it was burnt down. But that's when, again, I was warned again about just remember what I told you. If you go find her, you're going to be a kid taking care of a kid. So that kind of pushed me away. Like, well, I'm only 17. Like, I can't do that.
Right.
Like, you know, like, I can't. Like, I'm trying to get away from my own family. You know, like, I'm not going to drag her along, you know.
Right.
To me, she was already where she needed to be.
Right.
You know, and because, you know, my childhood was very rough, and I couldn't imagine me having to not only defend myself, but defend a little sibling. My future would not be where I am right now.
Right.
I'd be in prison.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
But no, it got questioned again, and that's when I just kind of left it alone. But from then, I want to say not even 10 years later is when she found me.
Wow. So I want to back up a little bit. I don't want to get into the reunion story just yet. I want to save that for the next segment. But so it's backing up. So we got way different upbringings for sure, right? Two very different families, but culturally too. I've been having fun this week having Alissa here because the bottom line is Alissa is Mexican because both of her parents are Mexican American, right? but she grew up with a white family. So it's been so much fun having her here because I've been kind of exposing her to our culture a little bit, and it's just been so much fun to do that. But I want to know. So I just I've been learning some of the differences and stuff like that. So God, this sounds so racist, I know, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Don't shut
So
up.
Alissa, tell us what it's like to grow up white. Anyway, no, you know what I mean. Tell us a little bit about, you touched on it a little bit about what it was like growing up with your family and stuff, but like, what were family gatherings like? What were, did you see drama going on in your family, and what kind of, because culturally things are different, in our family, they took out knives and attacked each other. Did that happen with your family? I'm totally kidding when I say that.
No, he's not kidding.
So what was it like?
Well, my family, it's kind of hard to say a difference because to me it's all normal.
Right.
But Christmas, Thanksgiving, we don't have any different meals, I don't think. We have turkey and stuffing and...
You have tamales?
No. That's not Christmas
Do you have
thing.
menudo?
That's Christmas food.
It so is.
Not
Christmas
in my
food.
family.
You need to come down here for Christmas and
Yeah, we have just mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, turkey, yams, cranberry sauce.
Yeah. What's your favorite Mexican restaurant?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. No, but actually,
hilarious.
we have this place in my hometown called Old Mission Deli, and it's a Mexican restaurant, and it's really good. But it's Americanized.
Of course.
I was going to say deli.
Yeah. It's a little Americanized.
What's your favorite Mexican restaurant called, Nikki? Yeah, Casa de Elote.
I don't know. I'm really picky with Mexican food.
Okay, where do you like eating menudo?
Rob's house.
Besides my house.
I would say I'm going to have to give it to Garcia's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to agree with you on that one.
I told her last time it's gracias.
Garcia's.
I was like, Rob, it's gracias. He's like, no.
No, it's got to see us. So while you were staying here, I showed you a few movies that we grew up on. Like being Hispanic, right? Growing up, there are certain movies that you watch that are staples in our culture. La Bamba, of course, is one of them. I showed you
Did
La Bamba.
you like La Bamba?
Yeah.
Not my Richie.
Yeah, I like La Bamba. We watched Coco.
Yeah.
We watched Blood In, Blood Out.
Yes.
We watched a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. I showed her Mi Familia yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, showed her that one yesterday.
I liked all of them.
Selena, of course. I had to watch
course.
Yeah,
Selena.
I
I have
watched
to do
Selena.
My
Was
wife
that your
hates
first time
Selena.
watching Selena?
No,
Hates
it was
the
like
movie?
my second.
Oh,
or
Selena the
third.
movie, yeah. My wife hates it.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't really
J-Lo?
watched it though.
No, it's a lot of them, and there's a lot of the actors in the Selena movie that kind of overact, especially.
Yeah, I don't hate the movie per se, but I'm annoyed by it, especially
By the
because
acting?
I've seen it so many times, and after a while,
Amen,
you can only
amen.
hear Selena so many times. Oh my God, okay, yes,
Yeah.
I got it.
She didn't mean to San Antonio. She didn't mean
Yeah, I know, right?
No, she didn't mean it.
So what movies did you grow up on? You were starting to talk about it earlier, but you never said.
I grew up on science fiction movies like The Terminator,
Nice.
Alien vs. Predator, Blade, Star Wars, Star Trek. Of course, the romantic comedies like Sweet Home Alabama, White Chicks.
But
Hilarious.
I don't know, just normal movies
Yeah.
everyone else watches, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the fun things that we did do this weekend was we took Alissa to San Antonio, and we took her to Market Square. So those of y'all here in Texas and from San Antonio, y'all know what Market Square is. If you've never been to Market Square and you want to experience some Mexican culture, go to Market Square. It's gonna slap you right in the face with a tortilla.
Flat out.
Flat out. So, yeah. So we go. Took her to the shops right away. She even said it herself. She's like, it's so much to take in because all the colors, and she saw the luchador masks, she saw the T-shirts, and all kinds of stuff. It was really awesome. I bought her a gordita so she could have a gordita. I got a ground beef gordita for her to.
So she had the circle pocket one, right?
Yes.
Not the Taco Bell.
No.
What's a Taco Bell gordita?
The Taco Bell gordita is just a taco in a fluffy tortilla.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's why earlier I was like, that's not a
That's not a gordita.
That's what it is.
It's no. When Taco Bell came out with that and said gordita, I was like, that's not a gordita.
I was like,
That's
You know what, Taco Bell? I
Yeah.
love you. Okay, don't listen to anyone
Come on, get
else
real.
says.
When you go and you tell them I want a chalupa, what did they give you?
A chalupa.
What's a chalupa?
It's like
Describe
a
it.
fluffy taco.
No, that's not a chalupa.
Fluffy taco.
No, that's not a chalupa.
chalupa is a tostada shell
Uh-huh.
with
crispy
beans
tortilla.
Yes.
spread to this on top of it.
Right.
with the
Hand-raised fried
cheese.
beans,
But it's
shredded
not a
cheese.
taco.
But it's not a taco. It's flat.
it's flat.
Oh, Taco
a
Bell
salsa.
bends theirs.
Taco Bell is
Yeah, that's why it's not a chalupa.
yes.
That's a chalupa.
there's
That's a chalupa.
That's a tostada.
No, that is not a
For the record, he just showed her a picture of a real chalupa.
tostada. Yes.
And it's a tostada.
That is not a tostada.
That's a tostada.
But see,
clarify.
great example of what we're talking about.
Yes, a great example of the differences in the culture, for sure.
Yeah.
How have you? Now, let me ask you this: how have you liked the Mexican food here in Texas as opposed to where you're from?
I like it. I think it's really good.
Is there a difference? Do you taste a difference?
Yeah, I think it's more authentic. There's a lot of different stuff that I don't recognize, like tripas.
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 Yes,
She
just for
means
the record,
tripas.
Rob made Alyssa eat tripas.
I did not
Yeah.
make her.
You did
And
not
then
explain what it was.
No, I didn't.
took my second bite in. He told me what it was.
Yes, I did. And the look on her face was priceless.
I just slowly pulled that back out of my mouth and said, "No, thank you."
So did she have loinga?
Lengua?
No.
No.
Is that pasta? What is that?
Yeah, kind of
Yes.
like. Yeah.
No.
No, it's not. It's not pasta.
No.
Lengua is beef tongue.
It's cow tongue.
It is so good.
It's the best.
I love
We'll
lengua.
get you some lengua before you leave.
Okay.
Poor
I'll
Alyssa.
try it too. I'll try
Yeah, I'll give
anything
her credit.
once.
She's not shy about trying
I will
stuff.
try
try
anything.
anything once.
You know she eats her fries with mustard?
Yeah, that's good.
I've seen people do that.
Yeah.
I had never seen it. Well, except for my brother, I've never seen anybody eat fries with mustard. Yesterday, she gives me. She goes. She wants me to try it, so I go to try it. She shoves the whole thing in my mouth.
That's
what you get.
No sissy bite.
Yeah. So that was. I guess
shove the
that was
whole
that was
fry in,
payback
though.
for the tripas.
Yeah. That's what it was.
So no, but that. I mean, we've had a wonderful time with her here. I was so excited that she got to experience, the culture like that. She went to. For those of y'all that don't know, we have a restaurant in San Antonio that a lot of the tourists like to go to called Mi Tierra, which translates to my land. And so it's very colorful in there. They have mariachis walking around playing music. And she actually had the enchiladas verdes, which is a very authentic, right? Authentic, kind of Tex-Mex dish.
And I picked it out myself.
She did.
I'm so proud of you, baby.
Yes, she did. She did. Said it right and everything. Just enchiladas verdes.
I wanted to impress the waitress.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, it
Should be
was
impressing Rob, not the waitress.
no. So we had a wonderful time. It was so good. We took lots of pictures. It was cool because she had seen Coco. We showed her Coco the first night she was here, right? So then to actually go to Market Square and see the candy skulls and everything from the movie, like it was right in front of her. You should have seen the look on her face. It was like
It's real. They really do
What'd
do
you
it.
call that picture thing at the end?
ofrenda.
Ofrenda.
Yeah, the ofrenda.
Okay.
Yeah, they have at Mi Tierra. You've been there, right?
Yeah.
They have a big the ofrenda there where they have all the pictures of, I guess, their relatives that have passed away. So to be able to see that too and associated with the movie, it was really, really pretty cool.
That was pretty smart to do it that way for you.
Yeah.
You know, that way she could see the cultural.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Of it all.
Exactly. So, Nikki, didn't you go see her?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you got to experience a whole different culture too.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. Tell us.
When I met my sister, I had never ever flown before. I'm just scared of heights to begin with. And as I mentioned in the last podcast, I'm not sure if it was watching Michael Jackson or La Bamba that traumatized me, but I was scared of flying.
But Michael Jackson didn't die in an airplane.
And well, I know, but remember how he was kicking and screaming? You had to like
Oh,
drag
yeah.
him on.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
That's
That
right.
was
Terrified.
Yes, I was kicking and screaming. I did not want to get on.
Yeah, she's really scared of heights.
But-
She gets queasy on her tippy toes.
But and I'm 4'11", guys.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and when, of course, you know, it's my reunited, you know, with my sister, and I told her, explained to her, I'm scared, but I told her I'd do it.
Yeah.
And I did it, and it was just a culture shock just from jump. Like,
Right.
Right off, I got off the plane.
Right.
Like, you
Talk
know.
a little bit about the culture shock. Try not to tell too much of that story because I want to get that in the second segment. Just give us a
Yeah.
little bit of the example of the culture.
But first, before you go into that, where did y'all meet at?
The airport.
What state?
Colorado.
Okay, because
Yeah.
we didn't know that.
Yeah, Colorado.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I flew out to Colorado for her wedding, and that's when we first met. So we were there at the airport, and just right away, her family, you can tell, was loving. They cared. I mean,
How did that feel?
it felt really good.
Did it?
Like, I remember the very first time I got the chance to thank her family for being there for my sister. I took it. It was at the dining table, and I thanked them, for that. Because I really fell in love on the compassionate they have for each other, the love that they had for each other, just the support she
Right.
had.
Right.
Of course, I was pretty much raised. Yes, I had family here and there. Of course, it was bad. So I was pretty much raised on my own. I didn't have that support. I didn't
Right.
have, nobody showing me that love. I didn't have,
Yeah.
I had to learn everything the hard way.
Yeah.
It wasn't taught to me. I pretty much didn't learn anything until becoming a mother myself.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this question because I like to ask the tough questions.
No,
right?
yeah, go ahead.
And I bet you anything, there's some people that are having this question. It just popped in my mind right now. Being that y'all grew up so differently, right? And of course, you guys get together, and we'll get more into that story here in the second segment. But was there ever any time after hearing how Alissa was brought up that maybe you felt like life cheated you, or like, let's be real, like a little jealousy, maybe a little?
No, I mean, I do remember, like I said, when my grandma first told me right away, I was like, and what about me?
Right.
Like, what about me? You know?
Right.
And my grandma got offended.
Yeah.
She was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
taking care of you and you're over here. What about me?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They left me behind, you
Yeah.
know?
My dad said he wanted to adopt you too, and if you were up for adoption, they would have adopted both of us, and then they
Yes.
really would have been in a world of trouble.
Yes.
Oh, good Lord.
And it's awesome too because the first day that I met her parents and the family, they
Right.
did right away mention that.
Wow.
And that too, like I said, a lot of truth is coming out with this whole situation because I was told she was a vegetable. I'm going to take care of her. I'm pretty much seeing, something totally different in
Right,
her mind.
right.
So at the airport, I see this beautiful, healthy young woman running to me. My plan was to run to her too,
Right.
but my knees gave out.
Wow.
I dropped.
Wow.
I was falling. Like, you can ask her. She even told me, she was like, you said you were going to run to me. And I just couldn't. I just hugged her and I just told her, baby, you're here. You're healthy. You can talk.
So when she said
You
that,
ran to me.
Right,
you weren't
right.
wheelchair down. You
Right.
ran to me.
Right.
That's a lot to be hit with at once.
Yes.
So listen, when you heard her say that to you, did you already know the story what she was told before that?
I did tell her what I was.
You told her that on the phone?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because it came out in the first conversation too.
Yeah.
I said I can't, like, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was told you were a vegetable baby. Like, because right away I didn't want my sister to think I was just like my family who don't care, you know?
Yeah.
But no, I had told her right away from the very beginning, like, and then it was weird too because I grew up knowing her as Nancy.
Right.
So the whole time I'm trying to look for her myself, I'm looking up Nancy, Nicole, you know, what my mom named her. But when my aunt came and with the news that Alissa is looking for me, right away I'm like, who the heck is Alissa?
Right.
I don't know Alissa.
She was like, who's Alissa? What's she looking for me for?
Yeah, you
Wait, do I
know?
want money?
So, and then my aunts called me at 10 o'clock at night. You know, this Alissa wants to talk to you. And I'm like, have her call me.
She got to fight. I was just like, it's your sister. Put your hands down.
And I remember I said hello. And I was really nervous. I had a neighbor with me. And because I was so excited, I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is real. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is my sister.
Yeah.
And I remember I answered and she said, this is Alissa. And I stayed quiet.
Right.
And just right there, she said, Nancy. And I broke. I could not breathe. I was just crying. I just broke. When she was saying Alissa the whole time, I was just quiet.
Yeah.
But once she said Nancy,
Yeah,
That
because
did it for
who
me.
else would know that, right?
exactly.
Wow, that is awesome. Man, that's
You're
beautiful.
gonna make me cry.
And with that,
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right, well, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about the day you guys saw each other in the flesh.
Yes.
For the first time.
Okay.
And this is a wonderful story. We'll also get to talk a little bit about how the rest of us in the family found out Alissa existed, because I'll be the first to tell you I had no idea and was shocked. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with more with Nikki and Alissa. Whoa. Oh, no way. Hey, Will.
yo, what's
Get
up?
over here. Look at this.
What am I looking at?
I'm in Facebook right now. Look at these numbers.
Dude, what did you do?
Dude, look at these numbers now in Instagram.
What? How?
Yeah, they've gone up in just a couple of weeks
How?
by listening to Enid Jones. That's right. So if you are wanting to start a business in 2020 and you wanted to grow on social media, then you know where you need to start? You need to contact Enid Jones, the Social Mermaid. She's a photographer and social media strategist. She will help give you a strategy to move forward in 2020 with a practical, realistic approach or growth. For testimonials, reviews, and more, you need to go find her on Facebook or Instagram. We listened to her, and in just a couple of weeks, man, our numbers are up. So if you go to Instagram, you can find her by pix.by.enid. That's pix.by.enid. And if you go on Facebook, just search Enid Jones Photography. She's not that hard to find. Go and search her today. You know, starting a business can be very challenging. Man, starting anything can be challenging, even a podcast. When we started our podcast, we had a lot of hurdles we had to go through. But I tell you what, Will and I are so thankful to have an awesome team of people helping us along the way. And one of those people, well, actually one of part of the team, is Blue Orchid Design Company. They helped us out with an awesome logo, and you guys have seen it every week when you listen to our podcast. They do web design, graphic design, esports logos, business logo creation, product mock-ups, and business consultation. You got to contact them today. For more information, go to goorchid.com. You can also find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Blue Orchid Design Company. This is the team that Big Will and Rob T trust. Give them a call today. Are you looking for your own custom shirt design? Maybe you have an idea for an awesome cap that no one else has, and maybe you think you just don't have enough money to get it to happen? Well, look no further. Call CJ Design. That's right, we're talking custom shirts, caps, stickers, and decals. high quality at the low price guarantee. Maybe you have a youth group, church function, family reunions, work events, doesn't matter. Call CJ Design for your own specific high quality design merchandise. Call or text at 737-202-8331. That's 737-202-8331. CJ Design, and make sure you ask for Juan. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rob T, from What's on My Mind. Listen, we're about to start the podcast. Before we do, I just wanted to say a few words about our awesome sponsor, Metroflex Gym San Marcos. We've been pumping them like crazy on the show, and there's a reason for that. You see, it was a few years ago, it's probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I first stepped into Metroflex. I got to meet the owners, Daniel and Michelle Haggerty, and let me tell you something. Just them alone makes the very reason why I go to this gym. Back at that time, I was at my heaviest at 465 pounds. Yeah, pretty heavy, I know. Anyway, I walked into the gym. I talked to Daniel and told Daniel exactly what was going on with me at the time. I had some health issues and things like that. And he wasn't interested about, the money. He was interested more in me and my health. And I will never, ever forget that. So, it's for that reason alone that I still continue to go to Metroflex. This is about 6 years ago. Now, since then, I've had, fluctuations, of course, as we all do. But the one thing that I love is that these guys don't give up on me. They don't call me a quitter. They don't press me or anything, but they definitely motivate me. If you are looking for a gym that is going to look at you and care for you like family, I'm telling you, you've got to go to Metroflex Gym San Marcos. If you're in the San Marcos area, it could be Kyle, Buda, could be New Braunfels. You're not that far away. Metroflex Gym is really not that far away. Look, the address, it's really simple. It's 2101 Clovis Barker Road, San Marcos, Texas, 78666. That's Highway 123, like you're going to Seguin. It's not that far. Okay, look, if you want more information, look them up online, www.metroflexsanmarcos.com, or give them a call, 512-878-8575. Metroflex Gym. They care for you like family, but also it is the hardcore place to get back in shape. Don't forget, Metroflex Gym. Hey, are you a super fan of the What's on My Mind podcast? Are you ready to show it off? Well, now you can, because we've got official merchandise. You need a t-shirt so that your friends can know who you listen to? All you got to do is contact us, WOMMpodcast@gmail.com. We got shirts, we got cups, we got stickers, all for you. Contact us today. And what you heard right there was the audio of the first meeting of Nikki and Alissa. We'll see if we can get them maybe when we post this up to share the video so you guys can see it. I remember when I first saw it, I cried my eyes out, man. It was so emotional. They're getting all teary-eyed over here, just listening
thinking
to
about it.
Yeah.
I'm choking on my cornbread on this.
You're choking on it because it's raw in the middle of you.
Yeah, right?
Still good. Still good.
That's cornbread from Colorado.
She went there.
You keep crossing the line now. Don't hear my grandma say that.
So we were talking in the first segment about the girls' lives, that 25 years before they actually met. And so now here we are, 25 years. This is 6 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 25 years later, you've already talked on the phone. You had that first conversation and everything. She's real. She's healthy, right? Mm-hmm. And you broke down, but still you haven't seen her.
Oh,
and
I know.
now here you are. You're gonna see her. What are you thinking on that plane besides, I don't want to fall? But what's going through your head?
Okay, well, to rewind, we wanted to meet each other face to face, virtually, before the airport. You know?
Gotcha.
Okay, that day just scared the heck out of both of us. Wow. Because it's our first time Skyping ever.
Right.
Seeing each other face to face.
Okay.
I turned my computer on and we both looked at each other like we were looking in the freaking mirror.
Can I tell him?
Yes, I'll let you tell the other half.
We were wearing the same exact sweater.
Nuh-uh.
Gray and white stripes.
What?
The same exact sweater. I kid you not.
Wow.
No way.
Yes.
No, I'm
She has a
serious.
picture.
Oh my God.
It was scary.
Wow.
Same stripes, same
Style, everything.
long sleeve, everything. V-cut.
Yeah.
It was just different faces.
Wow.
It was
So that
creepy.
freaked us out.
And we've been doing that stuff ever since.
We did it not too long ago.
with our hair. We both dyed our hair purple and didn't know it.
We didn't
Like,
talk
at
to
the
each
same
other.
time?
Yeah, we didn't tell each
Wow.
other, hey, I'm going to dye my hair. Nothing. Just happened to chit-chat that day. And she's like, did you cut your hair? Did you dye your hair? I said, yes. And she's like, what color? I said, purple. And she said, shut up. I'm doing mine purple tomorrow.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was creepy.
Y'all also went through, and this one was the other one that freaked me out when I found out. You on your own, you dealt with your own addiction type struggles, and just like you did.
Yes.
And y'all didn't know each other at the time,
no.
but y'all were going through similar struggles.
Yeah.
Also, so that's
To me, that was God keeping us apart until we were both
right.
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 Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so you Skyped. How long before y'all actually started talking when y'all were Skyping? How long did the shock last?
I mean, I guess, not too much long,
Yeah.
A couple minutes.
Yeah, wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. All right, so you Skyped, you talked, so now you're on the plane.
Yes, I'm on the plane. I have her on the phone like 24/7 because this is my first time flying. I don't know what I'm doing,
Right.
where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was just really nervous. I remember just nervous. It was too unreal for me.
Yeah.
Because I was just so set on my sister not being healthy.
Right.
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 So I was really nervous. I didn't know what I was gonna go into. Like I said, I didn't know if she was gonna be in a wheelchair. I
Right.
didn't know if, she sounded pretty normal. And
Right.
when I saw her, she looked pretty normal.
Right,
And,
right.
but everything that the family told me, that's when I started learning as an adult, everything that my family had told me was a lie.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing else that can explain it besides
It's the truth.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
And I don't, it's, I don't know. I think I was more worried about what she was going to think about me because I knew I was just in my sobriety.
Right.
I had just began this whole life changing,
Right.
So I was more nervous on how she was going to take me.
Right. And at this time, how long had it been since Grandma passed?
3 years.
I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years.
Okay, because I know after Grandma passed, you had gone through a rough time.
Oh,
there,
yes.
too.
I was sober when Grandma passed and relapsed.
Yeah.
So, on that topic, so Alissa, you didn't come to the funeral for the grandma passing?
No, because I didn't know they existed yet. That was before I found them. She came and saw me the same year that I found her. Like, I found her December 9th, 2014. She came, we met in person April 16th, 2014.
Okay, day after my birthday.
Or no,
No, the day before, right?
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, before.
It was 2015.
2015.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
So the obituary was already a couple of years old whenever
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looked for it online. That's where you found the obituary and it had all the information. It had all of our family's names and
Yeah,
everything
I
else.
just Googled her name, an aunt's name, and uncle's name, and the obituary popped up, and I searched through the family's names, who survived, who's deceased, and that was scary, because I was like, oh gosh, what if she's dead?
Wow.
But then it said Naomi, Nikki, Castro, and then it said Cynthia Trevino. And right then, I was like, that's them.
Wow.
I didn't know who any of the other names were, but as soon as I saw those two names, I was like, that's them. That's my family. And I called my mom, and I freaked out. I'm like, I found my family. I found him. And she starts freaking out, like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to call the funeral home. Hold on, I'll call you back. I called my mom back like 7 times that day. And like trying to keep her up because she's in Colorado and I'm in Washington.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like trying to keep my mom updated on everything and like trying to talk to my aunt and then her. And then like, that was a very emotional week.
Yeah.
In itself, because more and more family members just kept popping up, and I'm like, who are these people? I'm like, I did not. I
was
thought,
one of them.
yeah, I thought I was just gonna find her, and then she came with like 1,000 family members. I was like, yeah. I'm like, this is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Also, she's the one you went to visit in Washington.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'll tell that story a little later. But yeah, so shortly after you found, of course, the word went out in the family.
Really?
My dad called me, and he's like, "Oh, we got great news today." And I was like, "What? What happened? What happened?" He goes, "We found your cousin." That's how he said it. He said, "Yeah, we found your cousin." And I was like, "My cousin? Who are you talking about?" And then he said, Cindy's daughter. And I was like, that's Nikki. Nikki's got a sister. Wait, what? And that's how the whole thing happened. Mm-hmm. And I said, what's her name? Because right away I thought, Facebook. I'll probably find her on Facebook kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And everything. Media. Yeah, exactly. So he gave me the name. He spelled it. You know, he's like, I don't know. And so he spelled it, so I wrote it down. And went on Facebook, and I found her. And when I saw her picture, I was like, it freaked me out because it looked like Nikki, but then it also looked like my aunt. Mm-hmm. She looked like my aunt, so I was just like, that's her.
First time meeting her, that's how I confirmed, okay, this is my sister.
Yeah.
Because when she was running to me, that's probably another reason why my knees locked out and I was falling. Mm-hmm. I was literally seeing my mom run to me.
Aww. Yeah.
Because she looks all like my mom.
And like Melissa said, that's a lot to take in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So I don't understand why your sister was collapsing.
I should have ran to you going, ooh. Boom.
Giving her a heart attack on top of that.
I would have really been traumatized. She did or she not?
That's awesome. That's awesome. That was good. That was awesome. Oh man, that's funny.
I had to.
All right, so Alyssa, your turn. The day that you were gonna see her face to face, what was going on with you?
I was a nervous wreck. I was like, because she flew into an airport that was like an hour from my house.
Oh wow.
And we got up there early, so we went to Hobby Lobby, or we went to a store, and we did some other things. And I remember I was just like a flea on a hot rock. I could not sit still, and I was just like shaking, like, oh my gosh, okay, let's go to the airport, let's go to the airport, let's go to the airport. And my mom was like, her plane hasn't even landed yet. I'm like, no, she's texting me. We have to go. And so we get to the airport, and my dad, God bless him, but he is the slowest walker. He's moseying.
Know the feeling.
Oh, he's like, oh, I'm going to go park a car. I'll drop you off. I'm like, whatever, let's go. So me and my mom and my husband, and we head in there, and I'm looking around for her, and I see her standing all alone waiting on her baggage. And I was trying to like be sneaky so she didn't see me right away, because I didn't want to run that far. And so anyway, I'm walking behind my mom, like hiding behind her, or walking behind people, like trying to sneak up on her. And I guess she turned and looked at me, and when she saw me, that's when I took off running. And in that video, I heard my husband kind of crack a little bit and like get teary-eyed, and I heard my mom crack and get teary-eyed, and but yeah, I was just like a whole bag of nerves. I was just like, I couldn't. For me, it was so surreal, and for me, it was like I didn't know what to expect. And I had a totally different, like she had of me, I had a totally different image of her my whole life. I thought she was, for some reason, I thought she would have like big, poofy, curly hair like me. And like, I thought she'd be tall. And I thought, I don't know why I pictured her like this, but she looked completely different than what I thought.
Yeah, you were way off.
And then, because I've never seen anyone that looked like me before.
Right.
And then when she did look like me, I was like,
This is creepy.
that's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Wait. Shouldn't it be like you look like her because she's older?
Thank you.
I think she looks like me because I look like mom.
Okay, I'll give her that one.
Oh man. So interesting thing. We were when I went to go pick up Nikki, because I had to go pick her up in Lockhart where she lives. We were talking on the way over here, and we were just talking about, the family and stuff like that. And again, I want to reiterate, we're not bad mouthing our family. We're just speaking truth. The truth in this story. And we do love our family greatly. But the one thing that we have noticed is that, and we were talking about it on the way over here, is that the three of us are like kind of the
Black sheep.
the outcasts of the family. Yeah.
The cool kids, you mean?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
For different reasons, of course, but so I say that to say this, right? So when I first reached out to Alissa, she was very friendly, and now that I'm thinking about it, I do have to tell you I'm sorry for just kind of pouncing on you like I did. I just got excited.
I was just excited.
Yeah,
I didn't care.
Because I've had let's just say that the outcomes for me as far as meeting that side of my family has not, like you were talking about, is not what I thought it would be. Okay, I'm not saying it's all bad or anything like that, but it didn't live up to the expectation that I thought it would be, right? Mm-hmm. So to be able to have another chance with another family member that's close, 'cause let's be real, we're first cousins. I mean, we might as well be brother and sisters.
Our parents, your dad and our mom were brother and sister.
Exactly. So it's like we might as well be brother and sister.
No,
it's that close.
that.
Yeah. So I was excited and I wanted to just reach out, and I did, and I was really fortunate that she reached out back, and it was so weird from my end because we talked a little bit, but there was like an automatic connection. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so as Will brought up, the day came. That was a whole story in itself. It would talk about just out of the blue, just spontaneous. Yeah, let's go visit Alissa.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say this, when she was the one that gave the idea about us going to see her, and I was like, oh well, I'll have to talk to my wife because we were gonna go to the beach. That was gonna be our vacation. We're gonna go to the beach. She goes, I live on a beach. I was like, really? She's like, yeah. So I'm over here thinking, well, shoot, if she lives on a beach, don't have to pay for a hotel, that kind of thing. I'm like, all right. So I go to my wife and I tell her, it's like, well, babe, she lives on a beach. We'll have a beach there. And she's like, oh, okay. So, and at the time we weren't doing so well financially, but Alissa helped us out. And so we decided to go. That was no beach.
I should have mentioned it was a Washington beach.
Yes.
There ain't no sand in Washington.
It was silent.
Yeah, it was. Will.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
But yeah.
We were standing out there, and there's nothing but water in front of us, dude. And it was silent. No noise at all.
No waves. Yeah,
nothing.
Very calm water.
It was weird.
That's the West Coast.
Dude, no, it was
up in the
weird. It was like
Puget Sound.
West,
Yeah.
It was like horror movie.
It was
beautiful.
Well,
it was cool though.
Washington. We have werewolves and vampires.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad we went. I mean, I had never been to a part of the country before. Neither of us had.
Yeah, it was
and I mean,
cool.
Seattle was gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bet.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
really nice.
it was a great trip. We got to go to the Pike's Place.
Yes.
We got to see Mount Rainier.
Yes.
I mean, it was I'm so
fish
glad
place?
we went. But
That's not a fish place out there.
Yeah, that's the one that throw the fish and everything. Yeah, but check this out.
Just any werewolves or vampires up there?
Well, if we did, they didn't look like it to us.
Did he have the shimmer?
No.
are there vampires in Seattle?
Vampires don't shimmer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Vampires don't. Let's get that out right now. All right. Vampires don't shimmer. Twilight is not real vampires. No, it's not real vampires. Lost Boys. That's real vampires.
Hide in the alleys of Seattle.
Yes. No, Lost Boys are from
Those
was it
are-
Santa Carla?
Those are homeless
It's California. Roboito.
Anyway, so I was
Have no hipster vampires.
I was nervous about meeting Alissa and everything, but when I saw her, I was just like, oh my god, because you look just like my aunt, and that was a trip. And I remember I hugged her. I didn't want to let go. I would have killed her if I would have squeezed her any harder.
I'm like, okay, can't breathe. Let me do this.
Yeah, so it was amazing. It was a great trip. Got to make her some homemade Mexican food while I was up there. It was hard buying the ingredients though, because they don't have an HEB in Washington.
And he made fun of me for using a fork.
Oh yeah, I was like,
instead of tortilla.
yeah, I was like, use the tortilla, don't use the fork.
I'm all prim and proper. I'm like, got my fork, got my cloth napkin. He's like, what are you doing? Why do you have a fork to eat with?
So it was awesome. So how much time did you spend with her over there?
I want to say it was a week.
A week?
Yeah, I think it was like,
Was it a week or 2 weeks? I think it was just a week.
it was just a week.
Just
Yeah.
a week. Cool.
Yeah.
And it was for your wedding, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was already married, but this was my big friends and family wedding.
I see.
So I had married my husband in June, and that was just for like my grandpa and his mom, who we lost that same year, and then like my great aunt, my grandma, and like just real close family members. And so then we threw a big bash in April for all of our friends and family. My dad was very generous, and he said, hey, like, you can invite your sister to the wedding, I'll buy her a ticket. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? Like, are you serious? And he goes, yeah, like, invite her, like, find a ticket for her, I'll buy it. I'm like, okay. I got so excited. And it was kind of scary because, you know, I wasn't sure if she was able to go. At the time, she was staying in like a...
I was placed in a shelter with my kids. And
Yeah.
right at the time. I mean, of course, there's rules in every shelter you go to.
Right.
Y'all know me. I was breaking the rules and had just got busted with alcohol on campus. And like the day after, I'm putting in this request. Can I go to Colorado? I know I just got in trouble, but can I go to Colorado? Yeah. But I think I had to write a letter to the head, you know, of the shelter and tell them exactly everything. I had to explain everything of our story.
Right.
Explain that this is my first time meeting her. And, you know, any consequence, of course, I was willing to do.
Right.
You know, and by God's grace, thank God, I was able to go. They approved it.
Yeah, that was like
And
very up and down because I wasn't sure. Like, at first, she's like, yeah, like, I'll definitely make it. And then the next thing, she's like, well, I don't know yet. Yeah, I'll definitely make it. I don't know yet. And I'm like, what is going on?
I didn't want to tell her, I got busted.
I'm being bad and breaking the rules, so I don't know. And I'm like, I'm over here like, yay, yay, very emotional roller coaster. But then when she finally, like, I didn't believe it until her stupid butt was on the plane. And then I was like, okay, she's on the plane. She's on the way here. Like, this is actually happening.
Wow.
You know, I did not believe it. I didn't try to get my hopes up until she was officially on the plane.
Right.
And once that happened, like, whew, the emotions started.
Right.
Yes.
So during the time that you were over there, like, Man, I bet y'all like stood up like all night talking and stuff like that.
Oh, yes. I mean, we had so many questions for each other. You know, we were just finding out a lot through her family, too. We were going through she was showing me her adoption papers, everything.
Wow. A lot of filling in the blanks, huh?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know, we looked at that together.
That answered a lot of questions for her.
We were already trying to find her biological father.
Yeah.
I was actually going to go there,
yes,
too.
But
so, at this point, the understanding was y'all had the same mother.
Yes,
but did not know who
fathers.
Alyssa's father was, right?
I was told a total different guy. Me and my father were told a total different guy was her father.
Right.
And we were told that too. Like my whole life, we thought she was my half sister. You know, because our mom claimed that she had been raped.
Wow.
And didn't know who the dad was.
Wow.
So years later, like actually this past year,
you found out what?
Our older sister Angel, she wanted to know like if I was her half sister. So she asked me and my dad if we'd be willing to do a blood test. And so we both said yes. She paid for it. And it came out 99.9% positive that her dad's my dad.
Wow.
So y'all are full-blooded
We're
sisters.
full-blood sisters. We're not half like we thought.
Yeah.
And that in itself was just like, because at the time we weren't talking.
Oh, wow.
I had relapsed, I want to say, like a year before all that happened.
You had done some pendejadas, yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I had changed my life by then and stuff, but I was one that wasn't going to put up with nothing. You're going to respect me or forget you. You're going to respect my household or forget you. You know, that's how set I was. And then I remember exactly Mother's Day morning, my dad called me and I could barely get hello out, and all I heard is, she's mine.
Oh.
And
wow.
I broke.
Wow.
I cried. I said, I'm sorry, can you say this again? And that's when he said, she's mine, 99.9%. And I remember exactly, I cursed. I was like, what the F, Dad? Like, how, why, what, when, where? You know, like, how? You know?
Yeah.
So, of course, right away, he's like, that's your full-blooded sister. You need to, you know, put all to the side, and then that's your sister.
Yeah.
And, of course, I was being I don't care. It's not going to change nothing, you know.
Hard-headed.
I had sent you a message on Facebook or something. It was Instagram. I sent you a message, and I said something along the lines of, like, I know we have our differences, and I'm going to try to respect your choices because you're a grown adult, and, you know, I just want you to be happy. Because I wasn't happy with her boyfriend. I think that was, like, one of the issues, too, is, like, she wanted to come to Colorado for my son's birthday, and I said, yeah, you and the kids are more than welcome, but your boyfriend's not allowed in my state. And she was like, nope. And then, so we got into an argument over that, and
I told her I was going to take me and my family somewhere else.
yeah. So, yeah, and then all that happened, and I just told her, like, you know what? You're grown. You make your own choices. You know, as long as he's good to you and as long as, you know, he loves you and he's going to treat you right and you love him and you're happy, like, then I'm going to try my best to be happy for you. And I'm going to try my best to support you, you know, and just got your back on this. But,
yeah.
You know, and so, same thing.
Both of y'all are hard-headed, huh?
Yeah. And same thing coming
sisters.
down here this time. Like, it was my first time meeting her boyfriend, and I had
5 years later.
I had to really open my eyes and be like, okay, I need to look at him for who he is now because he's sober.
Yeah.
He's a totally different person.
Right.
You know, give him a chance. So I did. And it turns out he's a pretty nice guy. You know, he's kind of a punk, but he's a pretty nice guy. And he loves my sister. So that's all I can.
Yeah.
If they love each other, then I'm happy for her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the awesome thing now is like, so you went from, you know, finding the family of your mother to actually having another whole family again. You know, so now you've got this whole other side of the family that you got to get to know and everything else. And
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself has to be a rewarding experience, you know, more love to spread around.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can't help but think as more things come to light and more truth comes out, that what the Bible says is true, that the truth will set you free.
Come on.
Because it sounds like there was a lot of bondage, right? But as this stuff comes out, you're feeling more free. Now I know the truth. Now I know why this happened. May not agree with it, and nobody's saying that it was right or anything like that, but knowing the truth definitely helps. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you know,
It answered a lot of unanswered questions
Right.
that we had for each other.
yeah.
You know, there's things that there's a picture that I told my sister. It's of my mom when she was pregnant with the last baby that she passed with. But I was told that baby that she was pregnant with was her. So I grew up also thinking I was like 3 years older than my sister.
Oh, wow.
So for a little bit, me and her would argue how, no, we're 12 and a half months. No, we're 13 months. No, I thought, like, she's the one. I was 27 when I think I met my sister.
26.
26 years old and barely finding out from her all the way in Colorado, no, that's not me. That's the baby she passed with.
Wow.
So you didn't even know that you had another sibling, basically.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
that
We
that
had
there would have been another.
Oh, yeah. And
I
Mom
think
was
it
a
was
girl.
another little girl too.
It
Yeah.
was
Wow.
another girl.
Yeah. And they had buried that baby at her feet in her
Yeah.
grave.
Wow.
And she thought that was me.
Wow.
Man.
Like, oh my God, what? But then,
Wow.
I don't know. It's kind of confusing.
It's a picture, and it's right before my mom passes. I'm 3 years old. She's pregnant. You know, 5-6 months it looks like in the picture.
Oh, I get you.
And
So that's who you
I
thought that Alissa was.
Yes. So I'm praising this picture thinking that's my sister the whole time. So when I finally show her and tell her, she's like, no, that's not me. That's the sister that passed with Mom.
yeah, it was your sister, just
And
not me.
yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying.
So there was
like,
another little sibling.
that just
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what I was told.
Right. Basically,
As little as that little white lie was,
yeah.
it just
that's
keeps going.
Yeah, that gets confusing too because they say, oh yeah, she was pregnant with her and she passed away. Oh no, she's a vegetable now. Like, is she alive or dead?
Right. So many
And
conflicting
see, I don't
stories.
know because from what I remember and told, like I've never heard of Alissa being dead. It was always a vegetable.
Right.
The last sibling, I mean, I just knew right away that sibling passed because my mom was pregnant.
Right.
You know, so I wasn't confused about that whatsoever. But just the little pictures, just the age differences,
Yeah.
the numbers. You know what I mean? How far apart we are.
Yeah.
How, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what they were keeping from me.
So just so confusing.
Uh-huh.
So
which
confusing.
makes her harder to find
Yes.
because you don't
Yeah.
even know what you're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I think if the adoption agency hadn't burned down,
It would have been a lot
we would have found
easier.
each other right away. But
Yeah.
since it did, like, it just made it impossible.
It's like something out of a movie, man. You know?
Totally.
But it all
totally.
I
worked
wonder
out.
if anybody in the family burnt it down. They were trying to keep us, sister.
It was our. I'm not going to name names. I can guess
funny.
who, but I'm not going.
Well, I mean, it comes back to what you guys said earlier. It's like y'all came together right at the right time. Because think if y'all had gotten together before, when y'all were both going through your addiction, when you were both going, you know, I mean,
it would have been horrible.
Yeah.
If we would have, like, I say this all the time, but if she and I would have grown up together, we would either be dead or in prison. Mm-hmm. Just the way, like, how wild we are and how
we're sober.
Anti-authority. But yeah, we cleaned our act up and we're both sober now and we're being adults and stuff.
both got kids.
Yeah. We're momming and adulting and wifing.
Wow.
And
That's
all
awesome.
The responsible
So
stuff.
a few weeks ago, when you came down the first time, Melissa and I had the, I say, honor and pleasure of witnessing both of y'all for the first time going to your mom's grave.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, that was an emotional experience just for me to watch you guys. You know,
That was hard.
Yeah, it was something else. And all I kept thinking was that my tia's looking down, smiling.
Oh, yes.
Both of her daughters are there, you know. But it was very moving. It was very, let's be real, it was very sad.
Yeah.
You know, just to see there's really no marker. There's, you know what I mean? And but at the same time, there was this peace too, you know, as seeing it. And that was a huge takeaway for me. And like I told you too, that was the first time I'd ever been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know where she was buried.
Wow.
Right.
You know, so that was something else. That was crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really emotional for me, and that was really, I don't know if hard is the right word. It was just so surreal to me to be that close to the body that gave birth to me.
Right.
To the, like,
The reason why you're here.
quote unquote soul.
Right.
You know, that, the reason why I'm here.
Right.
You know, and then just being that close to my birth mom again was just like really, like, I'm about to cry thinking about it. It was just really so surreal and emotional. And like, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe this is happening. And same with like meeting Mike for the first time, my biological dad, you know, like he's another reason why I'm here.
Right.
And, you know, and yeah, they're not the reason I am who I am. My parents are the reason I am who I am,
Right.
but they're the ones who gave me life.
Right.
And just for that reason, I'm forever like grateful for them.
Right.
You know, and I honestly believe like they were truly in love. Because as I've heard, they kept getting back together and getting back together and getting back together. And for me, that's a special thing. Like,
Oh, for sure.
That's probably love in the way that they were able to do with what they had.
Exactly. And they
Yeah.
brought 2 beautiful babies into the world, maybe a third, we don't know. But, yeah, so just for that reason, I'm like forever grateful for that. And I'm grateful for Mike and his family for just being so open-armed and accepting me for who I am now and like just welcoming me into the family. And like that meant a lot last time I was here and I
Yeah.
met all them. And
Yeah.
that really meant a lot to me.
That's awesome.
How was that for you, you know, meeting Mike? Because when you met him, you knew already that he was your biological father, correct?
Yeah.
So how was that for you emotionally, just kind of meeting him for the first time?
At first, it was kind of numbing. Like, I didn't really know what to think. Like, I gave him a hug and stuff, and then it was, like, that awkward. Because we met in a park, and then we were walking to a restaurant. And so it was, like, that awkward, like, okay, now let's walk to the restaurant. We didn't really say anything. We just kind of walked, you know, in silence. And it took us both, like, a long time to, like, actually start talking to each other. And after... we hung out at the river for a little bit. Maybe it was after lunch. We were going
went
out.
to a yogurt shop.
Yeah, we were going out for
snack.
frozen yogurt. And I said, I'm going to ride with Mike there. And that was the point where he told me, like, he's so grateful for my family and my parents. And he said, I'm not trying to replace your family. I'm not trying to replace your dad or your mom. Like, I'm not your dad. Biologically, yes. But they are your parents, and I respect the heck out of that, you know? And I'm so grateful they raised you and made you into the person you are, because you're amazing. And that made me cry. Just hearing how thankful he is to my family, and, you know, and I thank God every day for my family, you know,
and that too also brought out some truth for us, for me at least too, because that's when we found out me and my dad were both told the same thing about my sister.
Oh, really?
yeah, they told Mike I was a vegetable too.
Oh.
And I never knew that until just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm 32 now.
Oh, my goodness.
So, like I said, truth is still coming out.
So up until that point, he thought, wow, like I can only imagine what that must have been like for him, having a kid that you thought was a vegetable, and then,
Right.
you know.
Yes, because when we found
Yeah.
each other, she made a picture side by side. And, I mean, we look identical. Body figure, everything. She wasn't a mother at this time, so she was still that real petite. She still is, but, you know.
I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
you know,
What are you
but
saying?
the body before mommy came, you know. But, you know, we were both bone and skin, you know. We're skinny, you know. And I remember when my dad saw that, he called me right away. And he's like, do you think she could be mine?
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't know, Dad. You tell me. Like, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
But that's when I had told him, I said, I don't know, Dad, because my aunt and grandma is saying some guy named Ruben is the dad.
Right.
And to come to find out, that wasn't even true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And when
not.
Yvette
And they were
saw
set
that picture,
on that decision.
Right,
And that's
right.
something that's going to bother me all the time, because I've learned a lot. My family speaks on things that they heard, but yet
not
it
on
did a lot of
facts.
damage.
Yeah.
Because you don't speak on things that you heard. Where were y'all? Y'all
Yeah.
shoulda
Speak it like
went-
fact. Like that's how it
Y'all
is.
should
You
have
know?
went to the hospital
Right.
to make sure
Right.
she was that vegetable.
Right.
Or, you know, so it's
Not
it's
hearsay,
just-
let's-
yes, yes.
They heard I might have fetal alcohol syndrome, and that's in my adoption paperwork. That's on my hospital paperwork, like possible fetal alcohol syndrome.
And they took off with it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what they
Wow.
And they
Man.
turned that into like something completely different. Like she's a vegetable, she's brain dead, this and that.
did. And
was
I
like,
remember the reasons. It was
I know.
because your mom drank with her. Your mom did drugs with her. You know.
Wow.
So, like I said, you know, everything happened, you know, after my grandma passed. Like, I don't know, everything just came out to light.
Little by little, stuff
Little
started
by
coming out.
little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna talk some more, and we're gonna pick it up a little bit. We can get a little lighter, but before we do, I just want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of this third segment we're about to do, and that is Collector University. Our boy, good friend of the show, Mr. John Garcia, also known as Professor J, is your hookup if you're looking for pop culture type stuff like Funko Pops, comics. You got trading cards. I know he goes nuts with the Pokemon cards and stuff like that. These things, he's got them for you. He's got them at great prices. All you got to do is reach out. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. All you got to do is search Collector University. And he does all his business on eBay. I'm telling you, he will give you a great price. Not only that, whatever you buy from him, they always make sure to send a little bit something extra for you as well. So that's Collector University. If you're looking for that special gift for the nerd in your life, you got to give them, and I wouldn't say give him a call, but he doesn't like people calling him. Not even me. I don't know why. But just look him up on social media. You'll find everything you need there. That's Collector University. So moving on to a lighter, lighten it up a little bit because it's happy times. I mean, granted, Alissa, I know you're here for, a sad occasion. You know, y'all's sister passed away.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's like yeah, I guess you could say she lost her battle with leukemia, but let's be real, she won.
She won.
Because she's with Jesus now, and
Amen.
she's rejoicing and everything. But the silver lining in this cloud has been you've got to be over here in Texas. This is your second time in Texas. Technically, it's not your second; it's your third because you were here when you were a baby. But you don't remember that, of course.
The second time I remember.
Yeah, second time you remember.
And the first time wasn't because she was drunk.
Being in Texas, and one of the things that we talked about was, I remember when we were going to San Antonio, I told her, you're probably going to feel something. You're going to feel like connected because, she says, she's been saying this whole time she's here that she's a white girl. Yeah, okay, you grew up white, but you are Mexican. You're Mexican-American. And
she's a coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. A total coconut. Yes.
So, it's been such a blessing having you here. And it's just crazy, man. It's like, it doesn't feel like, for us anyway, speaking for us, it doesn't feel like a family member visiting.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's just Alissa, this is...
And that's exactly how it was when we met.
Yeah.
We both were just like, it may sound weird, but it feels like I've known you my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's
would
crazy.
eat, and we would kind of like freak out on each other because we would eat the same. Like you saying,
Yeah.
tortilla and fork.
Yeah.
I was a fork.
Yeah.
And she was like, you fit really well with my family. And I was just like, really? Thanks. It's just so weird because we obviously did not grow up together.
Right.
We have a lot of the same mannerisms and
Yes, it's
personality disorder.
So tell us now, because you reside currently in Colorado, right?
Yes.
And everything. So what do you guys do to stay connected? How do you guys stay connected? Are you calling each other every day? Are you Skyping? What is it that you guys do?
All the above.
Really?
We Google Duo.
Yes.
Which is a video chat. And then Facebook, Instagram, texting, calling.
We did Skype, but now I have a new phone and stuff. We've been using Duo.
Yeah.
Duo's good. I like Duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, better quality.
Yeah.
But
Message is good too.
so
What are we advertising for social media things here?
Yeah, I try to get endorsement deals, man. Come on, man.
Anyway.
but yeah, anything we can to stay connected, we do it.
Awesome. Awesome.
I mean, ever since we found out we were full-blooded sisters, we both were able to put all BS to the side.
Right.
Her issues with my boyfriend.
Right.
Whatever. We were able to put all that behind us.
Yeah.
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 And I think I just told her, just finding out you're my sister, like full-blooded.
Fully. Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie. With everything that's going on with my mom, my family, I questioned, who's my dad?
I hear you. Yeah.
Because my mom was so set on this other dude to be her dad.
Right.
What makes you think she did not do the same thing to y'all,
Right.
making y'all think I'm y'all's?
Right.
But when we found out she was full-blooded, there's no look at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, he's my dad.
Yeah.
And okay, Mom, this is it. Like, I'm not letting her go. She likes it or not.
Right.
She likes my boyfriend or not. I am going to stay in her life.
Yeah.
And of course, my boyfriend's always just been respectful. And, if he needs to stay out of the picture just so I can have my time with my sister, he will.
Right.
But me being me, too, I'm going to protect my family. And my family is a full family.
Right. Right.
So now that we're past that and all that stuff, our bond is, I would say, stronger than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point too. The fact that you both were willing. So this is the thing. You're actually taking action and you're willing to put things aside and you're willing to make the effort to stay connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's key right there.
That's the first step.
Yeah, because it could be one person making the effort. If the other person doesn't make the effort,
Yes.
you're not going to get anything. That's the problem that I run into when I try to get close to certain members of my family.
Yes.
You know, I try to make an effort, and then it doesn't feel like the effort is reciprocated, and it's like, okay. So the fact that you're both making the effort is a huge blessing, an awesome blessing.
I think it has to do with our sobriety as well. Because when we were fighting,
we were not.
We weren't sober
at all.
you know.
I was
but
battling my drugs. She was battling alcohol at that time.
Right.
Yeah,
You
and then
know.
after we came back together, like we had both been sober for over a year, and I think that came with like maturity and acceptance and admitting your faults, and and we were willing to do that. Like
We
and
did it
so
with each other. you
yeah,
know.
and so we both like made amends to each other, and sorry I called you that B word.
Yes. Every sibling fights, and me and her were saying some pretty harsh stuff.
Yeah. We
And
don't hold anything
'cause-
back. When we're
I mean, y'all know me personally. If I'm the same, she's the same exact way.
I don't know you for nothing.
So it was just literally me fighting my dang self
Right.
during those times.
Right.
But, like she said, after sobriety and maturity and just mentally being different, of course, that helps a lot,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And just with everything that we're going through, like you said, it's a sad occasion, but my sister is that one to bring family together. And like I said, it hurts that she's gone now, but I mean, if it wasn't for her funeral,
Yeah.
my sister wouldn't have been next to my boyfriend. The family wouldn't have been together. Like, nothing would have happened the way it did if it wasn't for my sister's funeral.
Right.
But God knows how to reach everybody, and everything. And I don't know. That's one thing I can say this past time that we've, made amends and stuff. Like, we seriously have God as our foundation.
Yeah.
And at first we didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they say a marriage, right?
Yeah.
This is my sister,
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yes, we're holding hands.
And the thing is, and with God too, God's notorious for finding the beauty in the ashes.
Oh, come on.
And
Yes.
that's exactly,
That's what happened.
what this is, And I'm trying not to get emotional.
Don't cry, Fuzzy. Don't cry.
even me myself, I've talked with you, Nikki, several times, and I've even told you this, that you feel more like a sister to me. And then same thing with Alissa and stuff. And so having Alissa here this whole week and stuff has been so awesome. But it, like I said, I go back to what I said. It doesn't feel out of the ordinary.
Yes.
Like waking up and seeing her sleeping there in my loft. It's like, yeah.
She's like, oh, hey.
What's up? How you
Still
doing?
asleep?
Morning. Yeah. Just stick the dogs on her to wake her up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna put you on the spot now, and with everybody listening, and I'm gonna tell you this. After she goes home, you're gonna hear a lot more from me.
Okay.
Because I want to be closer to you. Okay? Because I need you in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God put us all together for a reason. And I go back to when I first met you, when you were that little thing. And I used to take you to church with me. And the crazy thing is that at that time in my life, having you in my life, you don't know the impact you made on my life at that time.
Oh, wow.
Because at that time, I felt like everybody hated my guts. I felt like nobody loved me and nobody wanted me. But whenever I saw you, the look that you gave me when you'd come running out and jump into my arms, I was like, maybe nobody wants me, but she does. And that was such a huge, huge blessing in my life. And then here we are this many years later.
Yeah, and that means a lot, because I mean, I was so young.
You were.
I can barely remember, but I do remember the church. I do remember the drums. I do remember me playing with a tambourine.
Aww.
That was my tambourine, you know. But yet, I would always remember, once I saw Robert, that was my protection. I ran to him, you know, and I remember I would get in trouble, like, don't be doing that, you know, and I'm just like, whatever, like, anytime anybody else picked on me, I'd go and tell him. And then he'd be checking my other cousins, hey, y'all don't do that to Nikki, or whatever it was. But, like, that's why it means so much to me, because little did I know you felt that way, and little did you know I ran to you because you were my protector.
Wow.
You know?
awesome.
And I remember that as young as I was. And that's something I'm always gonna be grown up with too, with the family. To them, they're joking, but it's always, how's your brother doing? Have you talked to your brother? You know, my brother's doing great. You know, yeah, I talked to my brother. I'm gonna go to his house tonight. Matter of fact, you know, you want me to tell him hi? You know, something. It was always that way. Mm-hmm. You know, and then when they found out I changed my life, oh man. Me and him together is a threat to the family, because they were always feeding him lies as well. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, I admit all my faults, you know, but they just tend to make people to be a monster when they're really not.
Right.
But that's to cover up what they're doing, what they're lying about. And I learned that as an adult, you know. And that's exactly why I don't deal with my family.
Yeah. And I do love my family. And just like you were saying earlier, I'm grateful for them, because, you know, my dad gave me life, right? My dad gave me his name, you know. And there was a time I thought about changing my name. I really did. Wow. I really thought about changing my name and taking my stepdad's last name. I really contemplated it, even as an adult. But I tell you what, the last time I actually thought about that, I never told Melissa that I wanted to change my name. At least I don't think I did.
You'd mentioned it, but you said your mom's last name.
Yeah, that's right. I was.
Yeah, because you were talking about Zamora.
Yeah, I was thinking about changing it to Zamora. And then she told me, she was the one that said this. She goes, honey, you're a good Trevino. You're bringing good to the name. Mm-hmm. And that really stuck with me. You know,
yeah,
and it was funny because not long after that, my dad had texted me. My biological father had texted me. He texts me every now and then, random texts, you know, and he always kind of says the same thing. And I don't want to play it off like it's nothing, because, you know, it means something. Yeah. You know, when he says you're my son, you're my Bobby Jr., and he'll say those things, right? This particular text, though, he said something about you know, I want you to bring. What did he say? I want you to bring goodness to my name, or something like that. And it just hit me at that moment. And I answered him back, I already do.
Yeah.
You go anywhere and you ask them about Rob T, about Rob Trevino, and I promise you, they're going to tell you, oh, yeah, that's a man of God right there. That's a good guy.
Yeah.
They're all going to tell you that. And that because that's who I am, you know.
Yeah.
And God knew what he was doing with all of us.
All of us.
You know, with the way you were brought up. You know, you went through what you went through. Even you went through what you went through, because he was going to use that for something later. I went through what I went through for, you know, for the reasons that we have now. So to God be the glory for all that, you know. But like I said, I wanted to tell you on the show that you're going to be hearing a lot more from me. And, you know, because I need you in my life.
Oh, yes.
You know, and we need each other for
yes,
sure.
For sure.
And I can't tell you, Alissa, how happy I've been this week with you here, and just seeing how much Melissa loves you too, and you know, and I mean, we are definitely a happy family, you know, and it's been really awesome, and I'm gonna really be sad when you leave.
Don't make me cry.
I'm sorry, but
No, we still got time yet.
yeah, we still got some time.
I still got, what's today, Tuesday?
Yeah, we're recording on a Tuesday. Yeah,
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
yeah. So you
I
still
got
got
2.5 days left.
There you go. Yeah. So, and it's gonna be good. So, but man, what an awesome story! I think our listeners are gonna love it. We definitely got to put up some pictures when we post this up, and maybe if it's okay with y'all, if y'all could share that video of of you guys when y'all first, saw it. That would be great to share with our listeners as well. And more great years that are going to be coming in the future. And you guys, I know we're going to get closer. I can't wait for your family to come down. Melissa and I are already talking about going to Colorado to go visit you guys up there too. So we know that's going to happen. Yeah. So it's going to be good. But I can't thank you guys enough for being on the show. I was so excited about doing this show.
Thank you.
Thank you all for having us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely, for sure. So before we leave or anything, you guys want to end it with anything? Y'all got anything y'all want to say?
Like
Why
what?
Y'all are the guests. Y'all
They looked at me like I was part of the family. What I gotta do?
What do we say? Psst, psst, hey.
Yeah, you want to, like, Alissa, you want to tell your family in Colorado or anything? Because I'm sure they're going to listen.
Oh.
She's like, I'll see you Friday.
Thanks for taking care of Zay while I'm gone.
Oh, real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about the weirdness in your kids, the names.
The weirdness in your kids. Talk about your weird kids.
No.
But no, this is crazy.
My son is 11.
My son's 2.
And I had named my son after an uncle of mine, but his first name is Isaiah. Of course, I wanted my son to have a Bible name, but yet I'm always that person that needs to be different. Mm-hmm. So I switched out the S with the Z, and now that's what I call him, my Zay. Mm-hmm. My Isaiah.
Right.
You know, when people say Isaiah, I'm like, no, it's Isaiah. With the Z. But no, I remember she found out she was pregnant. She found out she was having a boy. And just randomly, she just asked me, hey, sister, I was just wondering if you didn't mind if I named my son Isaiah too. And I got excited. I was like, no, like, really? Yes, do it. And that's what she told me. It's going to be with an S, though. And I was like, perfect.
So it's Isaiah. Not Isaiah. Isaiah.
Yeah, we had gone through 7,700 names.
Oh wow.
Wow.
We narrowed it down to like 5 or 6.
Right.
And we didn't like any of those.
Right.
And then one day we saw the name Isaiah, and my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, hey, I like that. And his dad is like, oh, well, you could. He wanted us to name him something that started with an I.
Oh, cool.
Because he's all about like puns and all this stuff. And he was like, I want his initials to be IMT. Because he's, or IMTC. Because he's Thomas Carragher.
Oh.
So it's like, I am Thomas Carragher. And so my son's initials are I am,
What's my son's name again?
His name is Isaiah Mark Thomas Carragher, IMTC. So we just
the dad joke that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
right. That's pretty funny.
And it wasn't till later that I was just like, oh crap, we both named our sons Isaiah. Whoops.
You called me and asked.
I did?
Yes. Let me find out you're drunk, sister.
So you both have Zays.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you were talking about. Sorry, I got to bring this up. You were talking about the initials thing. What was the initials that they called you growing up?
Oh, IBM.
And what does IBM stand for?
Itty bitty Mexican. Yeah, my family says I'm their little IBM.
I love that.
Because I'm only 4'11" and a half. And
so you're taller by a half?
Yeah.
By half.
I got her by my hair.
Literally.
That's hilarious. Oh man, this has been awesome. This has been great. Man, thank you guys so much again for being here. Before we leave, anybody got any more questions for these ladies? Anything at all? No.
That cornbread was good.
I love y'all's story. It's amazing. And
Thank you.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on the What's on My Mind podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on Spotify. Google Podcasts, Amazon, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast platform. Make sure you check out our official Facebook page at facebook.com/WOM-podcast. That's facebook.com/WOMM podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can also email us at wompodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments about this show or any other shows that we've done. Maybe you have some questions you'd like to ask the sisters that we can get to them and maybe get you an answer. Please feel free. Just send us an email. We'll get back to you right away, all right? So until next time, this has been Rob T.
It's Big Will.
And there's Melissa.
And you've been listening to
What's on My Mind.